Hello everyone, I'm Emily.
And I'm Scar.
And welcome back to another episode of the Cottage Horse Podcast, where we get whimsical, wild, and whatever else every other Wednesday. We have an exciting episode for you today, so we hope you enjoy.
Fabulous start, thank you.
I was helping with the countdown, in case you couldn't see it on your screen.
I could. But,
Well,
welcome. Welcome to this episode where we did not even say the intro, but hello.
Hello.
We are talking about Percy Jackson.
This episode drops the day that the first, I think 2 episodes are dropping at the same time on Disney Plus.
That's planning.
So we actually were really excited when we realized that this would work. So
yeah, we wanted to do this, and then we were like, "Oh no, is it going to work out?" It did. So
perfectly.
Basically,
so you can
it was
listen to this,
yes,
and then go watch the episodes.
Yeah, because this is just a hype, obviously, because we haven't seen it. I mean, if Disney wanted to give us like special access, I mean, I'm here.
I would love that. I would love that we, out of all people, would somehow get to see the show early.
Because think about it though, wouldn't that be the strategy? Because like, no one would believe us.
True.
So like,
we'd be like, this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and people would be like, that's stupid. That's never gonna happen, and then it happens, and they're like,
exactly.
What?
Like, I think that's a good marketing strategy. Like, to just have really niche, random people like cover the entertainment categories. Like, if you're like a big Star Wars fan, but like someone like, I don't know, Paw Patrol is like, come watch our new movie first, and it's like, it does not make any sense at all, and then people just think you're lying. It's like, I'm not lying, but that's not what's happening.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen it,
but you know, in my mind I've seen it already, and I know it's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be so good. I'm actually I'm listening to the audiobook right now of The Lightning Thief.
Yeah,
just because like I read the books last year.
Yeah, so did I.
Last year. And like I read them very fast. I like devoured the first series pretty quickly. So I'm like, what happened? When did that happen?
Yeah.
Because like I was watching the trailers and the trailers look really good, but I'm just like, did that actually happen in the book? Is that how that happened? Is this how that conversation went?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I like they kind of all merge together as like, I can't tell you what happened in which book. Like they all kind of just are a blob in my brain, which is fine. But like obviously that's not very helpful. Yeah, I've like there's this I've seen a few like videos on my YouTube which is like a recap of the books, and I was like, I might watch that just so I can digest it, because I did think about a reread, because I had a plan. I was like, oh my god, I'll reread all of Percy Jackson and then do the Heroes of Olympus. And I was like, do I actually want to like kill myself? So I decided against that.
That's fair. I'm just doing the audiobook because I can't normally do audiobooks while I work, but because that's when I've technically read before, I can have that on while I'm working, because like it's more of like a refresh rather than fully digest every single tiny detail.
Yeah, I think also like audiobook, like there's some books that just can't be done in audiobook format, but I feel like books like that are pretty, like you said, I feel like they're pretty easy to digest, even from a first time perspective, because there is stuff going on, but like it's not like you're going to get lost if you don't pay attention to every step of the way. Like you can kind of piece together in areas the general gist and vibe, which is helpful. So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I missed out on Percy Jackson as a kid because I was too into, well, like I was into Hunger Games, as like was everyone. I was into Twilight, but my series that I had that wasn't Percy Jackson was the Maze Runner series. That was the series that I took on instead, because I don't think my school had the Percy Jackson books, because I feel like if they did, I definitely would have picked them up. Because we had like, I mentioned this to you before, but in my school we had like, in secondary school especially, but we had like reading bands, and like you would pick books from the reading bands, and then you would like take quizzes on them, and you get points if you answer the questions correctly, and then what points you got like rewards, so you got like gift cards for like book vouchers and stuff. And I was doing those quizzes like all the damn time. I was reading like fucking everything I could get my hands on. I was like, there's no way I meant to pick them up otherwise. But I'm very sad that I missed out, but I still love them as an adult. So if you're someone who hasn't read them and you're thinking, oh, am I too old? No.
No. I was just looking up when they were published. And the first book came out in 2005, which I did not realize it was that long ago.
Well, yeah, because
so I was trying to figure out, like, was I just the wrong age for it? And no, I wouldn't have been. I was 9. It honestly makes no sense because I loved Greek mythology as a child. Like, I had a hardcore Greek mythology phase. So there's, other than, I would say I was like 9 when the first book came out. I think it's also, like, back then you just didn't hear about stuff, like you said, like, if it wasn't in your library, like, it just, like, it didn't exist. So it's not like nowadays where, like, you hear stuff on the internet all the time. So, like, I must just not have, like, known about them. I also was really into the series that we don't talk about.
Yes, I think that was also a damning thing, because like I mentioned, where it's like it wasn't as accessible to pick up books because there wasn't a way to talk to other people about books, especially as a child. I mean, who the fuck am I talking to? like I'm not even going to be, even if I was online, like, you know. But yeah, like the main way I read books was through my school library, and obviously the school library is obviously quite niche. Well, it's not niche, but like it's only going to stock certain things. And I think by that time, because it definitely wasn't, because when it came out I was 4. So I wasn't reading it then. But like, even, and I think when I hit primary school, it had missed the point. Like it had missed its like phase, like when it came out, like maybe because I feel like Heroes of Olympus, I feel like, because I don't know when that was published, but like my books, I looked through them, like the series that I have were published in 2011, like the covers and stuff. But then when I hit secondary school, like, even though the Hunger Games and stuff were published before I hit secondary school too, they were still so popular alongside, like, you know, the other series and bits and pieces, that I feel like Percy Jackson just kind of got lost because everyone was like, oh, this, like Twilight, Hunger Games, and like Harry Potter, that all the other series kind of just got pushed to the side. Like, the only reason I picked up Maze Runner was because my friend was like obsessed with like, she was obsessed with Dylan O'Brien. So like when the movie came out, we were like, slay. And we had like a Maze Runner sleepover party. And then I was like, oh my god, the books. I know, it was so funny. But like, that was like the only reason. Otherwise I would never have picked that up, because it just wasn't like, I had no reason.
Yeah, the Maze Runner series didn't like really go anywhere either. I know they made quite a few movies, but that one didn't really hit like mainstream as much either, which I have not read those books. My sister has. She says they're really, really good.
Oh, they are really good, yeah.
Maybe I'll read it at some point, but like, honestly, I've got so many books to read.
Yeah. I will say, I reread them during lockdown because I wasn't sure how they were going to hold up. Also, there's a 5th book out. Like, there's the prequel, there's 3 books, and then there's a 5th book. And I haven't read the 5th book because I had no idea it existed. Because obviously it came out a bit after, like, I think it came out after the movies came out as well. I could be mistaken in that, but I believe it did. So I have no idea, but I need to pick that up and read it. And it matches the other ones. So thank you, publishing and James Dashner, for doing that. But I reread them, and I was not expecting them to hold up, and they do. I was impressed. I was like, for something this kind of like teen, I guess it's more, maybe not middle grade, but like, I bet it's like teen. I was like, it probably won't hold up. Maybe it's just nostalgia. No, it's pretty good, and it's good world building. And I was like, we'd love to see it.
Solid. Speaking of matching books, though, I'm so mad about the new Percy Jackson, what will be the trilogy coming out, because you can see them if you're watching this in video format. I have the pretty ones where they like make a skyline all together and they look great together, and now I have to add new books to my collection.
Yeah, mine are ugly. Mine are, the thing
yours
is, like,
are ugly.
Mine are ugly, but the thing is,
ugly.
But the thing is, though, right? Mine are ugly. But what is great about them being ugly is the fact that they're so ugly that they match the Heroes of Olympus, because they came from the works. They both came from, I got both book sets from the works. So they match because they were published at the same time by the same publisher. So they match. But now, obviously, this new trilogy is not going to be the same, because why would you make that? Because it's fucking disgusting. And they were going off the whole like movie poster hype, which obviously they're not going to do this. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm mad about it, because I'm like, I want, obviously I'm going to wait until they all come out anyway, because I'm not just going to buy one. Also, I can't have it be a hardback and the others be paperbacks. That would just drive me up the wall. Like, the rest of the series being paperbacks and that one trilogy being a hardback, I'd be like, no.
I think I could deal with the trilogy being a hardback if the rest are paperbacks, because I have all paperbacks as well. But I'm still gonna wait until they all come out as like a set together before I get them.
I hope they look nice. I mean, I do like the hardback covers, or at least the one that the UK has. I don't know if it's the same. I imagine it is. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I've seen so far is cool.
I hope they keep it for the paperback because I think it would be cool. If they don't, I'll be sad. But if they want to make an ugly version for me, please feel free.
Just for you. They're printing one copy just for you.
Just so it can match to my shelf, because honestly, it's so sad.
No, so sad when they're
not going to match. Like the Hunger Games, I want the Ballad and the Songbirds book, but like it's only the neon one. But I have the Scholastic not neon versions, but they only have the neon version or the movie poster version, and I'm like, it's not going to match, and it looks stupid.
Honestly, this is a slight tangent. I feel like the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes does not match, period. Like, it is not the same vibe. Because, like, you can buy all 4 of them together. I was actually looking at Hunger Games sets today out of curiosity. And you can buy all 4 of them together, but they're still not the same vibe. Like, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes feels like a different vibe, even when they're in a set together. And I'm like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm going to buy one, it probably will be the movie poster version, because then at least it's like, it's the same kind of like, it's the same color scheme as like the original Hunger Games with like the gold, like the oranges and the golds. So at least it matches like thematically in that way, but then at least it does also stand alone, because like you said, it's like not quite the same, but also the same. And I'm like, so I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I'm just like, it just looks weird.
I don't own Hunger Games set, which I want to. I'm just kind of waiting because, like, I don't know. In my heart of hearts, I feel like there should be a pretty version.
Have you not
available?
Oh, do you not have the versions that we have?
I don't have the Scholastic UK ones, no. Because
No. You are gonna flip your shit when you see these. These are possibly like these are done. Oh, where are they? I don't even know. Okay, that's not a very good picture.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that.
I can't see. Send it to me on Discord. I can't see that at all.
Yeah, that's not a very good picture. I'll send you this picture, but I'm also going to send you a TikTok of someone unboxing them. But basically, if you know what if you've seen them, they're the deluxe Hunger Games collection from Waterstones. They are hardback, and they are like leaves, and they're different colors, and they've got like leaves.
Oh yeah, that's
the
connecting Scholastic ones. UK. Yeah.
Oh, is it still Scholastic? I wasn't sure if it was still Scholastic or not. But yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
The only acceptable version.
They're not available in the US.
That's devastating.
However, I would love to see somebody open them, because I saw someone like unboxing them, and then the comments were talking about how the margins are whack, and now I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I think they look really good as a set. Like,
yeah, those are pretty. I like those. Those are good.
Yeah,
that's like the only set I've seen, but they're not available here.
That's just, because they're like, I don't know. I don't even know why Waterstones were like, here's a collector's edition, and I was like, also £70. I was like, ooh. I mean, I know it's 4 books, but I was like, oh my lord. I can't justify that. It's not when I have a set. So I was like, no.
Yeah, see, I don't have a set. So I have 2 that I'm borrowing from my mom, and they're like the metallic-y.
Oh my god, tiny. You know what? When you showed me those, I was like, that's what my library had. That's what my school library had, was those ones. And like, nostalgia hit me. I was like, it was so fun.
Like a white set that I like.
I've seen those. Yeah, I've seen those as well. Yeah, it's really weird because like, obviously I got a lot of my books from my school library, so like I purchased them after, like, or during school. I've been like, hey, I've asked for these, so I have a lot of like old ones, like the series should not be named. I was going through because I did like that. This is not a Percy Jackson related at all, but we'll get back on track in a minute. But I have all my Harry Potters from childhood, because they were like, I think my parents got them for me when I was like growing up, because obviously they were the big thing. So I have them all, and they're like old. And I was going through them because I was making a book tracker, and I was adding all of them in there, and I was seeing when they were published, so I could add that to my data sheet. Not that it really matters, I've just wanted to add it in there. And I knew they were old, right? Like pretty much all of them are 2nd and 3rd editions, but I have 3 1st edition Harry Potter books. The Goblet
that's kind of incredible.
Yeah, I have, which ones are they again? I think it's all the 3 hardback ones I have. So it's Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, and Half-Blood Prince are all 1st editions. And the other ones are all second or third editions. But also what's iconic is they all still match, even though there's like the 3 hardbacks and then the other ones are like older. But I was like going through because I was like, oh, you know, this is kind of like crazy because like it was like, you know, one of them is like before I was even born. I was like, lol, that's a bit weird. I have a book before I was born, and then it was like first edition, and I was like, oh,
that is pretty cool.
And I was like, first edition again. And I was like, and another first edition. Oh my lord. So yeah. Anyways, I was like, it's not a flex because like, ew, but also it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, back on track. Percy Jackson. That's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah. I don't even know what I want to say.
I'm so excited because okay, I may have just hopped on the Percy Jackson train last year, but I watched the movie ages ago, and
I watched the movie. Yeah,
it's trash. No offense, Logan Lerman.
No, how do you mean the movie? Sorry, I have to adjust this camera because I decided to sit on the floor, so I apologize to everyone watching this. No, I'm sorry. The most cultural significant moment was Percy Jackson defeating Medusa with an iPod Touch. Like, okay, are you kidding?
No.
Are you kidding?
The most culturally significant moment is the Lotus Casino scene.
What's happening? Why?
I don't know. Okay, let me rephrase. The movie is actually a very fun movie. It's just a trash adaptation.
Yes, it's so stupid. If you haven't seen it, like, please go watch it because honestly, you'll have such a fun time. It's so daft. Every choice was a choice.
Yeah.
Was it the correct choice?
So many choices.
Listen, it is what it is. I'm so, like, you know, we have all these actors, like, we mentioned it previously, where it's like Robin Pattinson and like Anna Kendrick getting there in Twilight or shitting on Twilight. The fact that those people have not come out and like shit on the movie tells you how much love they have for the series and just the chaos that was clearly on set. I'm like, if I was Logan Lerman, I'd be like, what the fuck was that?
Speaking of Logan Lerman, okay, listen, I'm sure whoever is going to play Poseidon in the TV show is going to be beautiful, but it should have been Logan Lerman, and I will die on that hill. He should have reprised his role in a different way, and I'm mad about it, okay? I don't even know the guy who's playing Poseidon. I'm sure he'll be fine, but he's not Logan Lerman.
I was like, are you gonna... I actually feel like he's gonna be in there somewhere, like as an Easter egg.
I hope so. I hope he's like in like some like really random spot.
People said like maybe
I really wanted it.
I know. Someone said that someone was like, oh, maybe he's like the cab driver, and I was like, that'd be kind of cute. Like it's like a little bit of a ooh. But yeah, I agree. I mean, like, listen, maybe there was issues with scheduling. Maybe there's whatever. But you cannot tell me that man did not want to be there. Also, I'm like, it's not like they didn't have the money or the pull because the casting is pretty solid. Like even like. Especially, like, even to pull someone, like, as, like, Walker Scobell, like, who is now, like, a very, like, famous child actor. But, like, you have Mr. Disney villain song, Hamilton music man himself, Lin-Manuel Miranda in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, clearly you have some... I mean, he probably do it for free. He's chaos into... Like, he is just... He's everywhere.
Okay, speaking of Lin-Manuel Miranda, this is a bit of a tangent that has to do with the show because I saw something and now I need to know your thoughts. Because in the trailer, okay, the like little clip we saw of him, it looks like he's in the Lotus Casino. Do we think we're getting a Lotus Casino musical episode? Because that is the only way we could top the movie version. I saw someone theorize this on TikTok and I kind of want it now.
If we don't get that, I need someone to make it. Please.
Because I can't remember why else Hermes would be in the Lotus Casino scene. Unless that's not where he is, that just looks like where he is.
I'd have to watch the trailer again.
It looks like he's at like a some sort of like table.
Yeah, I'd have to watch the trailer again. I do know what you mean. Yeah, I would die. No, because
I really think that is the only way we could top the movie version. Because for all the faults the movie has, that scene is incredible.
No, because imagine like, because you sent me a TikTok the other day, which is about like trying to convince other people to watch the Percy Jackson series, and it's like I'm so excited. Like I'm gonna like I've already said to like a few of my friends like please watch the series even if you haven't read the books. So just watch it. It'll be so good. Like also just like put hype on this series for the actors, for the kids, like everything. They all deserve it. Like so excited for it. Let's keep some series alive, please, people.
Yes.
So I'm like, please just do it. But I'm like, imagine, I'm like, hey, it's this Greek mythology, like, book series, and you follow this kid, and it's like all this like drama with the gods, and like you follow the cabins, and then they tune in to like episode 2 or 3, and there's a fucking musical. I would be disowned. I'd be disowned by my friends. They'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
To be fair, it wouldn't be until probably episode like 4 or 5.
That's true. It depends how like squished it all is together. I'd be interested to see the pacing.
Yeah, because honestly, as I'm listening to it, I'm not super far into the audiobook. I think I'm in chapter like 10 or so. I forgot how like long the beginning is, really. Like before he even gets to Camp Half-Blood, there's like a whole like week in there that he's still at home and stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna put that just as one episode, like maybe that's episode 1, because like I feel like any longer than one episode is quite a drag. Personally, I feel like
I think he's gonna get to Camp Half-Blood like right at the end of episode 1. Like I feel like the Minotaur scene is all gonna be like right at the end, and it's gonna be like maybe like him like just waking up at the end of the episode.
Yeah, because I think personally that feels like a weird choice to make it longer. Also, like I know lots of series do it now, but like they're releasing 2 at a time. It feels like that makes sense, because if you just release one episode as your debut episode and it's just like him not even there, it's like, well, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like you've got to find a way to engage the audience. So having them come out back to back, I feel like is also an effective way of doing that. But yeah, I'd be interested to see how they do it, because there's obviously lots of stuff that cannot just be kept in for pacing, exposition, but obviously in a show you can show things more easily instead of like having to describe them. So I feel like I'm interested to see how the dynamic is set up. Like, are they assuming people have read the books? Are they going to be giving us like very like hand holding? Because I think either way is fine. Like I'm wondering how the introductions to everything is going to go, because I feel like that's important for world building, but it's also like it feels silly to be like, this is so and so and so and so so and so and so 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 so. It's like, okay, well, just a bit.
Well, to be fair, the book kind of world builds itself, so like I don't think it would be that terrible. But I think we're getting actually more world building and background, because there's like a baby Percy, not like baby, but like littler Percy. That we get like little clips of and stuff of him talking to his mom and whatnot, and maybe that'll be sprinkled throughout. I don't know, but I could also see that being kind of the first episode, like kind of building up a little bit more. So, but honestly, the book does a really good job of like laying everything out, because like even Percy is like, the gods, what do you mean, like Zeus and them?
Yes,
so like
that's what I mean. Like I feel like it's gonna be very like I can just imagine Walker saying that. It's like, you mean the god? Like, because I feel like that's how it's gonna be played. Like it is gonna be played kind of like, it has to be a little bit unserious. It has to be a little bit goofy at the start, because it is goofy. Like it's just a bit strange, which is why it's so funny, because there is such like childish charm to it. Because it's just like, honestly, same. I'd be equally as confused. I'd be like, what? Which is just brilliant, and I'm so excited to see like, please do not Goblet of Fire the like tasks that the cabins do. Like, I want to see what they do. Like I want to see like capture the flags and things like that. Like if they don't show us that, I'm gonna be so mad.
We're getting some decent capture the flag.
Yeah,
from what I've seen in the trailers.
Please don't Goblet of Fire us where it's like, oh, see, it's Quidditch, and it's like, woo, and I'm like, that's the whole book. The whole book is the Quidditch. I decided like, I'm like,
yeah, no, there's quite a bit of capture the flag in the trailer and everything.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But then I was like, are you just showing me that to make me excited? And then you're going to be like, actually, because I'll be upset. No, I mean, listen.
I think it's going to be good.
I literally know. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm literally not worried about it at all. I'm just like, I'm vibes. I'm here for anything.
I'm so excited. Like,
they could literally give me an episode of the gods just like speaking for like half an hour. I'd be like, yeah. Like, let me just have them do like a little chat, and I'll be like, cool. Like, I'm down.
You know,
for anything. Feed me.
Overall, like, the casting of the gods is so good. Like, I don't really like visualize things when I read. I do a little bit, but like when it comes to people, I'm not the type of person who's like, this is exactly what I think this character should look like. Yeah. However, as soon as they dropped Ares, I was like, yes, that is exactly what I had in my head, and I don't know how. Like, he is spot on.
I think also for something like gods or like a higher power, it's also challenging as well, because like, how do you portray that? Like, how, like, obviously I know they have like human forms and like whatever, and like there obviously is that like balance, but there is meant to be a power imbalance, and it's like, how do you portray that in a way that is clear? Like, obviously, if they introduce themselves like, hello, I am so and so, then it's like clear. But it's like, how can you portray that without being a little bit like on the nose? Like, obviously they're gonna have like outfits, and like, you know, we get it, like they're gonna be dressed the way that you would stereotypically picture the gods, which is absolutely fine. I have no like that's not a complaint, but it's like, how do you present them in a way and make sure that they feel more elevated, which I think also is why it's so strong, because they've actually casted kids, so it's like there's already gonna be that difference, because there's you know, you have kids and adults, like, and it's like there's always already going to be a disparity there, which I think, you know, good on them. We love to see it.
Speaking of the kids, Walker Scobell is going to body Percy Jackson.
Oh, I'm excited.
So excited. That kid has Percy's sass. Like, he is walking, living, breathing Percy Jackson already. Like, the sass-offs between him and Ares are going to be incredible, and I'm so excited.
I literally,
he's gonna nail it.
I know.
All the kids look great. I'm here for Annabeth. She looks good. We haven't seen a lot of Grover yet from the trailers. But he looks adorable, so I'm excited to see him, because I feel like he's really gonna have like Grover's like nervous energy. He kind of gives me those vibes. So I feel like I'm gonna be like, oh my god, protect this small child at all cost.
But I even think, like, even if like, I feel like as well the dynamics seems good, because obviously like you said, like Grover's a little bit more like timid, so it's like with someone as Walker being Percy, you already get that dynamic, because obviously he's like going to overshadow, not in like a bad way or a mean way, but that's just naturally a dynamic. But yeah, I'm excited to see all the relationships build, because like that's so cute. It's like,
yes,
I cannot wait.
We've already seen Anna with her Yankees cap as well.
So oh my god, yes, I know.
So fun.
There's like so many things like that, and I'm just like, wow, it's there, it's real, it exists.
I know, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
Literally, I'm
excited to see Luke as well, because like, I know he's meant to be very charming in the beginning, but like right now I'm just like, I don't know yet. I don't know.
But it's also like, it's weird, because like, this is why I think that is honestly the hardest part you have to sell, because if you've read the books, you know the plot line, and you know the arc that is taken on by a lot of the characters, so to have to present that to people in a way that they are still immersed in, because that's a big part of the story, is those character arcs.
That's
like
the whole series.
like with like that makes up the fundamental part of it, so it's like you have to be able to sell that, because otherwise, I mean, I'll be invested regardless, but like for some people they're going to be like, oh well, actually it's not how I think that would have been done, which is fair enough. People are allowed to have that opinion. So I think that's really challenging. So I'm interested to see how they do that. And I honestly think the best way to do that is let other people do it for him. Like, we don't need to see a lot of Luke to get the impression. We have people like Annabeth and etc. to kind of fill those gaps for us, which I think is exactly the way they probably gonna do it. Like, I imagine we're gonna get like flashbacky bits and pieces. I think that's the way to do it, because I think otherwise if you show too much of him, then it's a bit sketch.
Yeah.
It's like who are you? So,
I know, it's funny though, because I was literally like thinking about the first book, and I'm like, okay, I know the plot. The plot is the lightning bolt was stolen and Percy must retrieve it. But then I was like, where even was the lightning bolt? I think I know where it's at. But I'm also like, where did he find it? What happened? Like, so much is, because also the first movie botched the plot. Not just in terms of like the quests they go on, but also just like they messed up the ending, like hardcore.
Yeah, it's a bit of chaotic energy in there. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how those dynamics are played, because that's obviously, like you said, it's kind of the plot, so it's kind of important. But yeah, I'm curious, but also like, we've gotten this again, and like it's funny, like there's TikToks on it and it's funny, but we're gonna get it again, and I'm kind of sick of it. But the whole idea of like casting an attractive actor, usually male, to play a antagonist role, and then people being like, I forgive him, I can fix him, or no, he's not that bad, just because they're attractive. Listen, Is
I know
Tom
we're not
Blythe
talking about the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but we gotta talk about the Ballad of Songbirds.
Is Tom Blythe an attractive man? Yes.
Yes.
Is Cornelius Snow an asshole? Yes.
That's not his name, but yeah.
I know, but Snow. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Every time I see someone say the name pop up, I'm like, fuck that. I don't care.
The way I read it, now that I know how to spell it, I say Coriolanus.
I have no idea. As a kid, I thought his name was Cornetto, so who gives a shit?
To be fair, I think they only say Cornelius, not Cornelius, but I think they only say his first name like once, actually, in the series. Otherwise, they just refer to him as President Snow. But no. President Snow, still a bad guy. You cannot fix him. If Lucy Gray couldn't, neither can you.
Listen, are you allowed to thirst over him? Yes, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying he's a bad man.
Although, you can really only thirst over him when his hair is long, because I'm sorry, the buzz cut is giving like wannabe Eminem vibes, and I'm not here for it.
I was gonna say because I haven't watched the movie yet. I do intend to see it. I just haven't got around to seeing it, but I do want to go see it because it looks amazing. I've heard amazing things. I'm so excited to go see it, even if I haven't read the book. I'm just so excited to support the team on their journey. But yeah, I say it every like trailer I've seen or like TikTok I've seen with him with the buzz cut. I'm like, it's fucking Eminem. It's just Eminem.
Yeah.
Like, no,
it is. The Angel Ross hair that he has going on. Here for it. The buzz cut. No.
No, I agree. It honestly, but anyway, just to say, like, listen, we keep getting it where they cast someone. We had it with Ben Barnes as a Darkling, and I'm like, listen, I get it. But also, they are bad people.
Although, okay,
them, and you can thirst over these people and be like, they are hot, and I'm like, I know they are. I agree, but also, their character is a bad person. They are separate, but also they do well.
I would just like to throw out here though.
Okay.
I don't think Luke is he a bad guy? Yes, but also he's not.
No, he's that's why I say antagonist, because like it's like an antagonist he's antagonist to Percy.
Yes.
But yeah, I know what you mean though.
Because like number one, the gods are shitty to their children.
Oh, 100%.
Point blank.
Yeah.
So he's justified in his anger. Number two, he was also pretty young and heavily manipulated by Kronos.
He's a kid. Yeah, he was a kid, yeah.
And by the end, I think he even realizes that he's in too deep. But at that point, there is no going back. And he knows 100%. That.
Well, I think that's the hard part of it, though. That's the hard part of his arc, is actually like... Because it is almost morally grey in the sense that it's like, well, actually, if you were in his position, it's like, would you know any better? Because, like, you probably wouldn't. Like, anyone could have fallen into that trap, and that's why it's scary.
Yeah. Because he did get pretty heavily screwed over by the gods, and by his dad alone. So, I mean...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Do I think the whole war and, like, killing your fellow half-bloods is justified? No.
No, but yeah.
You made some bad choices. But I get it. He was a young, angry kid, and unfortunately Kronos took advantage of that. So
that's the thing, like, that's why it's so nuanced, because like there's discourse about it. Which is what makes it interesting, because it's like it feels authentic. It feels like an authentic conflict. It's not just like, I'm a bad man because I'm a bad man. It's like, no, there is personality and reason and cause and effect here, which is why it is so effective, because you feel for these characters, because you're like, you do feel empathy for what he goes through, and you do feel bad for the other characters and the knock-on effect it has, because it does shatter your perceptions of who they are. I remember when I was reading that, I was like, I was shooketh. I was like, are you kidding? like I was like, oh my god, because it's just like, but that's the point. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, he's not like a villain, but obviously he does like bad things.
Yes.
You know, killing people, bad. Just in case you didn't know.
Yes, killing people is bad.
Just in case.
Although I do just want to throw out if killing bad, why sexy when doing it?
Yeah, exactly. Which
although always... I would also, disclaimer, I'm not calling Lucas Castellian, however you say his last name, sexy. He is a child. I'm not thirsting after a child.
Yes, also, let's put that into the atmosphere. These are children. These are children. The gods...
You can thirst over the adult gods.
Fine.
Unless you're a child. Although if you're a child listening to this podcast, please stop. You shouldn't listen to our podcast.
But listen, they're children. It's the same with Harry Potter. It's the same with like any franchise where they are minors, which a lot of the YA teen ones they are. don't.
They be kids.
Basically,
let them be.
Basically, the only MC you can first over who is in a YA teen book is Edward, because he's a vampire and he's like 700 years old. He is on the table. Everyone else, off the table. Just putting that out there. Because people be weird. Not everyone.
People do be weird.
But people do be weird. And I'm like, listen, that is a child.
Yes.
So let's know.
However, we can appreciate the Riz that Peter Millar has, because he do.
He does have book pizza. Bizarre. Like, where did that come from? I'm like, oh.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, listen, I know Katniss had bigger things to worry about than Peeta or Gale, but, like, how do you listen to Peeta speak and then even consider Gale to be an option?
Delulu is a Salulu. What? I've heard that before. Oh my god, I'm so glad
Someone give me that on a t-shirt, please. That
is my favorite thing. Like, I don't even know where I first heard it. I think it was on TikTok. I think it's a TikTok sound where it's like, girls being Delulu is a Salulu. I was like, that is my new favorite thing.
That's incredible.
I love it. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, but that's basically what she was like. She's like, oh, taking care of Prim.
I suppose, yeah.
Oh, also, speaking of the Hunger Games, this is just everything. We're just talking about nonsense.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Hunger Games, going back onto that tangent, I saw this tweet earlier on.
Yes.
I might find it. I think I saved it. I think I bookmarked it because it was just so chaotic. It was so funny.
Don't you mean someone like on X?
No. No. If you Google Twitter, it still comes up, so I'm counting it. Anyway.
Call them now if it's not a tweet. A zeet?
Post. I hate that. We're not calling it a zeet. I refuse.
I think we should.
Someone posted a I didn't save it. Did I like it? Probably not. Someone posted a map of the capital and the districts, which is obviously on the US, like on the US country, obviously, with all the districts and labelled. And then they were like, I can't even remember what the original tweet said, but they basically posted that, and then someone retweeted it, and they basically said, the world building in the Hunger Games is so bad because how can one district the size of a state only control one trade? And then someone retweeted being like, you just didn't read the books. That's the whole point of the capital, is to not allow trade. And I was like, people just say the stupidest shit and be like, send. I'm like,
yeah.
The entire plot is the fact that they only have one resource, so they can't live independently. So they have to live in the capital. I was like, that is the world building, bestie. Where have you been? Everyone in the comments was roasting them. I was like, you have had a bad day on the internet. You need to log
I
off.
was actually looking at that map, and I don't know what district I would be in.
Yeah, I don't know either. Honestly, I'd be dead. So
no, I mean like based on where I actually live in the US.
I
don't know which district I would be. Because 2 districts, 6 and 9, cut right through my state.
I also love when like obviously like you can assume, like I don't know the Hunger Games law, so if I'm wrong, incorrect, or there is this knowledge out there, please let me know. But like, I'm assuming that other countries have the same dynamic going on, or is it just a US based thing? But if it's not, I like to imagine that the US is the only country that exists, and it's just the US on the map, and it's just all ocean. Because sometimes when the world building happens and it's like based on a real place, I'm like, what's happening elsewhere though? Like, are England out here just like pop off? Like, because I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
I don't know if the answer is out there. However, I also think that the US is such a shit show that honestly, if we did dissolve into that, I don't know if the rest of the world would care. They'd be like, don't gotta deal with them no more, and move on with their life.
I saw a TikTok where it was like me in my London apartment going onto Amazon Prime to stream the Hunger Games, but season 10 is missing, and I'm like, stop. Because we would though, because Big Brother's not obviously this extreme, but Big Brother is like that. Like, do you know what Big Brother is? Do you have Big Brother?
Yes, I do know what it is.
Yeah, but like
we have it.
But I'm like, I can see people doing it. Yeah, here is it. The Hunger Games has some of the actual worst world building fiction. What do you mean a district is the size of one or more US states, produces one resource and nothing else?
I did see that exact tweet, actually.
Yeah, and then people were just retweeting it being like, you're stupid. Damn. You've had a bad time.
So, okay, going back to Percy Jackson. The first season is 8 episodes, right?
I believe so, yes.
Do we think it's going to cover the entire first book?
I would like to think so. I
hope so.
Personally, that is the best choice, because I would like them to do the whole series. And I think if you have more than one book take up more than one series, you're going to lose people. Unfortunately, from a production standpoint, you're going to lose people. If you can make it sharp and punchy and have it covered in 8 episodes, I think that would be the way forward.
Okay. We actually have all of the titles. Yes. And now I'm like wondering. I think so, because like they're all chapter titles.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So we have episode 1 is I accidentally vaporized my pre-algebra teacher.
Iconic.
Episode 2 is I become Supreme Lord of the Bathroom. So based on the chapters.
Oh, okay.
I think that one is actually like 4 or so.
I think that is.
Hold on, I'm pulling out my book for those of you who are not watching this and are just listening. I'm grabbing my book so I can actually like compare this.
Get the reference.
Yeah. Do we have a table of contents? Please tell me we have a table of contents. We do. Okay.
Oh, genius.
Yeah. So I accidentally vaporized my pre-algebra teacher is chapter 1. That's also episode 1. And then I become Supreme Lord of the Bathroom is chapter 6.
Okay.
So that's episode 2. And then we got episode 3, which is we visit the Garden Gnome Emporium, which is chapter 11 in the book.
Oh my god, that chapter in the book was like bananas to me. I still vividly remember that chapter because I was just like, what is happening?
And then we get episode 4, which is not as much of a skip. It's I Plunge to My Death, which is only chapter 13.
Okay, so they're gonna go in on that, on the Gnome Emporium.
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, I feel like that's gonna be the first like really like big moment, you know?
I was gonna say, it's the first big action scene, really.
Yeah.
Like, realistically. Okay.
And then the next one is God Buys Us Cheeseburgers. That's episode 5, which is chapter 15 in the book. And then we have We Take a Zebra to Vegas, which is chapter 16, actually, in the book. So they're going boom, boom with that as well. And then we have episode 7, which is We Find Out the Truth, sort of, which is 19 in the book. And then the final episode is The Prophecy Comes True, which is the final chapter of the book as well. So yeah, it looks like we're covering the whole book pacing in one season. Yeah.
That's good pacing. Because also I like the fact that they're doing like the God Who Brought Us Cheeseburgers like back to back, because I feel like them are going to get some really good time with the God dynamics there, because I feel like that's obviously important. So I like that they're focusing with basically, it seems like if they do the whole series, which fingers crossed it gets greenlit to do every series, every book.
Can they just film it all now? So we're good.
But hopefully that is the case. They're probably going to wait on the reception and then immediately start filming, because obviously the characters need to age correctly with the characters.
Yes.
But it seems that in that way that each god is probably each significant god is probably going to get their own episode dedicated to them, which would be very exciting and obviously important plot-wise. So we'd like to see that.
Yes. Also,
I'm excited for like... Go.
I was just I have confirmed that they're dropping 2 episodes on December 20th, which is when you're listening to this podcast episode, hopefully. So if you're listening to this after December 20th, there's already 2 episodes out. Go listen. And if it's December 27th, there's 3 episodes. Go listen or go watch.
Go watch. I mean, you could listen to it. It would be a bit strange, but you could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the first book and this first series is gonna be excellent, but when it gets later on is where like shit obviously hits the fan. I'm so excited to see what they do with like I'm just so excited to see. Like, there's so much potential.
Like books 3 and 4 are really good.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they do like all the stuff like on the boat. Which I know sounds pretty ominous, but like
I'm really excited for when we bring Thalia. I think it's Talia.
Yes, that's gonna be so good. Oh, there's so many like good bits. I'm gonna be like the reveal and what's it called? What am I trying to think of?
The reveal of what?
It's not a maze. What's it called?
The labyrinth?
The labyrinth. That's what I'm thinking of. That is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
That's if they do it all practical.
Wild.
Please do it all practical like in Maze Runner. That is gonna slap. That's gonna slap. Maze. I was like, I know what it is. What's it called?
I know this is like way more forward. If we get to like Heroes of Olympus and stuff, but I hope we get some of like the giants and stuff in there simply because my brain cannot comprehend the height differences, and I would like to see it.
Yeah, I actually feel like we're gonna get, like you said, we're gonna get a lot more world building probably just naturally because we'll be able to see more things, which I think is gonna help. So I definitely think there's going to be a lot of like seeding other things. Like I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what the series is going to entail, whether they're going to do like spin-offs for the other series or not. It'd be amazing if they do, but like, you know, I can understand why they wouldn't. But I feel like there is going to be like that kind of reference as little like East 80s. Yeah.
But I would like to go on one little tangent and just say something.
Okay.
When they dropped the first trailer with the new version of Riptide by Vance Joy, I lost my ever-loving mind. It was like using that song is so on the nose, but it's so good in like the best way. Oh my god. I remember just sitting there and I was just like freaking the fuck out.
I know. I also love that. I think we're gonna get. I think, like I said, like if you haven't watched the Logan Lerman movie, the choices they make in there are choices, but the choices we've seen in the trailer so far are like the choices. You know what I mean? It seems like they've nailed the style, the aesthetic, the audience. They know who they're trying to target. They've kind of grasped that they're trying to target our age, people who read it as kids, but obviously they still want to get kids into it. But like they know who they're trying to target. Like, the plot will be interesting to middle grade kids because that's what the books are targeted for. So that's kind of already covered. But you want to make sure that people who've read the books and invested in the series track on. So I think we're going to get a lot of really good bits and pieces like that, which I think is really fun. I think that's why the God casting was so important because it's like, that's kind of like, obviously I'm excited to see all the kids and stuff, but like, that for me is like super exciting. So I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Because I just know generally more about mythology. Like, as a kid, like, I did know stuff, but, like, obviously, you only know so much unless it's your, like, hyperfixation. So as a casual person, you're probably, like, not sure. But, like, for me now, I'm like,
so yeah, no. I'm very excited. I kind of wish we could live stream us watching the original movie just to, like, give some reactions to it.
I haven't seen that in, like, when did I last watch it? I actually watched it during lockdown, I think.
I watched it right after reading the first book because I was like, I remember this being a terrible adaptation and I need to like know exactly why.
Yeah, I think I watched it.
I have not seen what's this like? Sea of Monsters. I have not seen that movie because they did make a second movie, which is almost even more bizarre than the first one.
Well, the thing is, it's like the first one, like now when you look back at it, we're like, but I think at the time, because I do remember when it came, like I do remember. I remember watching it. Obviously I hadn't read the books, but I do remember watching it with my friend. Probably when I was about, I don't even know how old it was. I was definitely in secondary school though. I do remember watching it because everyone was obsessed with Logan Lerman, so it was just a thing to do. But I do remember people were like hyped. But I think people were just hyped about it. To be honest.
That's fair.
Because also it was like the new, like, oh, every teen YA book is getting a movie now, so like let's hop on the bandwagons, which is kind of like woohoo. You know, that whole era is bananas. Like, what a privilege to grow up during the time with all those series. Like, what absolute chaos that was.
Yeah. I am also really interested to see what they do now with Zeus's casting. Because unfortunately Lance Reddick did pass.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see too. I hope they don't do this weird Disney-ass thing where they have, like, the weird CGI AI thing, because that kind of scares me a bit. Yeah, I'm interested to see how they handle that as well. I imagine, obviously, that, I mean, they've clearly sorted it. But yeah,
I imagine they're going to recast, and I think that's kind of almost like the beautiful thing about that type of character is they can change their appearance and everything.
Yes.
So like,
yes,
Zeus could look like anything.
That's the thing. That's why the gods are so interesting, because you can put, well, I say you can put anyone in that role, but you can, because that's the thing. It's like it's subjective to what you perceive them as. Because like I remember, like, I listened to Mythos by Stephen Fry, which is all like the Greek. It's like a retelling of the Greek mythology. So like he just tells the stories again in a more like modern dialect, so it's easier to understand. But he like tells the stories that were told, but he like says like, oh, some believe this and some believe that, and like blah 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 blah, and how it's been passed down. And he's like, when he was telling the stories of like, well, especially like the main gods, but like he was like, oh, you know, people like Aphrodite and Athena, and like that the way that they are pictured and like perceived in paintings and in statues and art is so vastly different, because there isn't a correct way, and like they can have human forms, and they can, like, you know, they would come and present themselves to other people, and it's just like, it's so fascinating. And that's the fun thing. It's like, well, you know, they're just they're just a ethereal being in a meat suit, so it's whoever.
Well, even
so
Aphrodite in the book changes her looks depending on who she's with. So
exactly. So I wonder if they'll do that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Also, speaking of just the gods casting, I would like to give a shout out to our friend Catherine, who somehow predicted the casting of Dionysus, which was the most wild thing I've ever seen.
I remember that, because I was like, oh, I don't really, because I had no idea who I wanted to be as the gods, because I could not think of people. I was like,
yeah,
because there were so many options, and I was like, I just genuinely don't know how it is, but I remember that, and I was like, oh my god, Percy, how did you guess?
Yeah, our friend Catherine made a TikTok about like who she would like to see play, and then they actually cast Jason Mantzoukas. I'm not sure how to say his last name, so I apologize. And then that actually came true, and it was wild.
It was funny because that TikTok did well, like, originally.
Yeah.
And then when it happened, it like popped off again, because people were like, "Oh my god!" Like, and I was like, "Damn."
Yeah. I'm just looking at the rest of the casting.
Oh yeah, I think they've done a really fantastic job. It seems like they just know the vibes. They know what people want. I'm like, good. Everything looks 10 out of 10. What's the O for?
So no, I was just reading the casting, right? So they have the main casting, which is obviously the three children. We have Walker Scobell as Percy, Leah Sava Jeffries as Annabeth Chase, and I'm not sure is it Aaron, I believe, as Grover. And then there's reoccurring, so we have Virginia Cull as Sally Jackson, Glenn Turman as Chiron / Mr. Brunner, Jason as Dionysus, Megan Mullally as Electo / Mrs. Dodds, which is actually really interesting that she's reoccurring. Although I guess she does come back, doesn't she?
Yes.
I forgot about that. Okay. We have Tim Sharp as Gabe Ugliano, Dior Goodjohn as Clarissa LaRue, Charlie Bushnell as Luke Castellan, Adam Copeland as Ares, and then there's a bunch of guest ones, like Nancy Bobafett, Echidna? I don't know how to say that. Medusa, Hermes, Hades, Hephaestus, Zeus, Poseidon, and then it says, additionally, Jason Gray Stanford has been cast in an undisclosed role. I was like, interesting. Why?
That is interesting.
It's like, what are they trying to hide?
Secrets. Yeah, like looking through the casting that I've seen, like, everyone they just fit the vibe. And I'm like, we'd love to see it.
No, it's gonna be good.
I'm sorry, but Limbo for Hermes is the funniest thing.
Listen, if it's not a musical episode, though, I want my money back.
But I also think, like, he just kind of is. He kind of just does suit the role, because it's just, like, so bizarre. And I'm like,
listen, if at one point he doesn't look at Luke and go, look at my son,
I would never get over that. I would tattoo that on my body. Like, genuinely, I would tattoo that scene on my back. Like, I'm saying that right now. Like, if those words come out of his mouth, that scene is going on my back. Like, dead ass. Because there's no way. There's no way. But I also want it to happen now. Are you kidding? Even if he doesn't sing it. Even if he doesn't sing it. Even if he just says the...
Yeah. Just look at my son.
Please.
Okay, no, it's not gonna happen now. It's gonna happen in the 5th one.
That's fine.
In the 5th season, when we get to, the ending.
Yeah. That's fine. This offer still stands. If it occurs, it counts.
At any point.
Please. You do not... The internet would lose its mind. The internet might explode. Like, genuinely think the internet would explode.
It would be incredible.
And he would win an Oscar, as he should. For that one
True.
line.
True.
Honestly, that is... Like, it might, like... Not... I don't really know a lot of the actors, because I just don't. But, like, if I'm on set, right, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm playing, like, I'm here and I'm gonna be a god, like, oh, I'm Poseidon, I'm whatever, and then you just turn and you see, like, we don't talk about Bruno Man, and you're like, this is a choice.
Yeah,
but the publicity of that worked because everyone was talking about it when because they left Hermes blank for so long. People were like, "Oh my god, who's gonna be Hermes? Who's gonna be Hermes?" And then they just dropped him one day. I just remember seeing it on the Instagram, and I was like, "Are you kidding?" And then suddenly everyone was just like, what?
Okay, apparently Jason Gray Stanford has actually... I was looking at the Wikipedia originally, but now I'm looking at IMDb. He's been cast as Marin, which I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's a character from the books that I'm just not remembering.
Jesus.
Also, the actress playing Medusa is absolutely stunning.
I know, I saw that. I was like, damn. They popped off.
Like, okay then. She was in Flash.
Yes. She's very good. She's a good actress. Maron is a person. Wow, that was really helpful, wasn't it? Yeah. His mother was one of the nymphs who cared for Zeus.
Oh, he's a satyr.
Yeah, there's a fan art of him as well.
Okay, fascinating. All right.
Someone all the casting things that I've seen all have Lin-Manuel Miranda as Hamilton, as like like the clickbait is a slay.
Nice.
Oh my god, okay, this is so bizarre. Like, if you're watching this, you'll know. I mean, I guess if you're on the sphere, like, there is this one specific piece of fan art that is like the Percy Jackson fan art, or like of Percy Jackson. Have you seen it? Do you know what I mean? This one?
I think so. Oh yeah.
Like, every time I like think of Percy Jackson, I just think of that. Like, that is what I think of.
Yes.
Because like this fan art was everywhere, like all over Tumblr, everywhere. And I was like, ooh. Anyways,
I mean, that's the Wikipedia image.
Yeah, but like, I just remember being that was like everywhere. Like, it still is.
Oh yeah.
It's like one of those pieces of fan art that just like will stand the test of time. Which is kind of iconic. So we love to see that.
Indeed. All right. Do we have any final thoughts?
I want Medusa to be defeated via an iMac. Not an iMac. An iMac Air.
You want to just pull that out of his pocket?
Or an iPhone, but that's not what's cool. Like, it has to be something kind of niche. You know what I mean? Like, a vape.
I think he should defeat him with using a copy of the Lightning Thief movie DVD case.
I am going to edit that, so that is what happens. And are you kidding? No, like, I listen, I know that scene is stupid, but it's also the best fucking thing I've ever seen. Because the scriptwriters had to write that. People had to greenlight that and veto it. Like, people had to sit there and read that and be like, this is the decision we're making.
For the time period, though, it was pretty iconic.
It is still iconic. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? It's still iconic.
I'm just saying, like, for the time period, like, that was some top tier shit.
Like, I genuinely can't think of the modern day equivalent. Like,
to be fair, also, that is hella Percy thinking.
No, I know. But that's why, like, I'm like, what would the modern... Like, I know that's not going to be the way they do it. But please, have it be something daft. For the love of God. Like, I don't know, I would love it if they make that nod to that. Because I just think it's so funny.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
But I wouldn't know what you would. I wouldn't know what you would do. But I'm like, but I would love it.
We'll see. We will be back in a few weeks. I was gonna math it to give our thoughts.
Yeah.
We'll be back in February to give our thoughts on the show. We're waiting until it fully wraps up, till we've seen every single episode. We'll give our thoughts on season 1, our hopes and predictions for season 2 and beyond.
Yes.
But otherwise...
Oh my god, we have missed something.
What did we miss?
We haven't disclosed what cabin we'd be in.
Oh! True.
But you know what my answer is? I don't know. So that's a rifle.
Valid. I think I'm a child of Demeter.
I don't know who I would be.
I took a very lengthy quiz once, and that's what it told me, so I'm going with it.
I guess I have to take a quiz. I'm sorry I can't.
When I say lengthy, I mean it was like 50 questions. It was in depth.
Oh, that. Well, now I'm gonna have to do that and find out. I think I have done a quiz in the past, but it was like pick your favorite type of bread. So like, it probably wasn't very helpful. I don't know. I'm trying to think off the bat who I would be, but I'm not really sure.
I could kind of see you being a child of Aries, honestly.
That's kind of a slay.
You are tiny and violent.
I was gonna say like a frog, but frogs aren't violent. But they are to flies, I guess. Yeah, Aries would be maybe Athena, but like, really? I'll do the quiz, and I'll let you know. We can make a post about it or something.
Yes,
with our little cabins.
We will share our godly parent over on Instagram.
That is what we'll do.
So
I have time to
if you are listening, yes. If you're listening, keep an eye on our Instagram. Shameless plug, go follow us, and you'll see what godly parent we are. Not we are, we have.
Well, what God are you? Now. I am the God now. The God complex took over. I just am the God. Like, that's how it works.
You are Aries.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hope you enjoyed. Go watch the show if you haven't. And we'll see you. I mean, we'll see you in a couple weeks with another episode regardless. But otherwise, we will see you in February with our thoughts on this specific topic. So if you're just solely invested in Percy Jackson, come find us in February.
Yeah. We'll be here again, as always.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. To stay connected with us, then follow us on social media, which are linked in the description. I've been Emily.
And I've been Scar.
Tune in next time for the best cottagecore podcast for the cottage whores.